Damn, damn, damn! Just as the Knicks were starting to get into a good groove, we were so-called close to making the playoffs, even though it's only the first half, and we probably shouldn't be worried about seeing it right now. But the Knicks haven't been in this position in years or so. I guess, people could, over-exaggerate a little bit, feel happy about a position. But just as the Knicks were starting to get hot, Mitchell Robinson ends up with a right hand fracture, out for 4 to 6 weeks. Let's talk about it. Now, on Friday against the Washington Wizards, Mitchell Robinson fractured his hand mid-game and had to be taken out. It's announced that Mitchell Robinson's going to have surgery. And, look, when you look at Mitchell Robinson's stats for the season, he started about 27 games, averaging 8.4 points, 8.4 rebounds, only 66% from the free throw line. He's basically a rim runner at this point, provides us with some defense down low, doesn't really have a discernible shot or offensive game, that he can exhibit on his own. And so most people say, blah, Mitchell Robinson is what he is, second rounder, whatever. And even me, I get frustrated all the time with Mitchell Robinson's game, the whole thing about him wanting to shoot threes and then never even looking to do it. And damn, look, if Evan Mobley falls on our lap this coming draft, I'm just saying, if he falls and Suggs is not there, my son, but if Evan Mobley's there, Mitch Robinson, I have to salute you goodbye. Now, when you look at his scoring, some people might say it's not that impressive. When you look at his rebounds, at 8.4 rebounds a game, is up from his 7 rebounds a year prior. And he ranks 5th in the league with 97 offensive rebounds. 97. And his offensive rebound percentage, which all you guys may already know, measures the percentage of available offensive rebounds a player grab while they're on the floor, is 13.3%, which currently ranks 7th in the league. Now, this sounds all boring and somewhat obvious, but given that the next highest offensive rebound in that category is Nerlens Wells at 8.7, and pound for pound for that position, Elfrid Payton at 4.6, ranking in the 92nd percentile according to Clean the Glass, the Knicks will be hamstrung against dominant defensive rebounding teams with Mitchell's absence. Now, obviously, Taj Gibson's also up there around 8.8, but given that he's not playing enough games, he doesn't really fit into this discussion. And with regards to our team rankings, we're our 14th with regards to offensive rebounding, but ranked 7th in the league in putback points per miss, 9th in the league in putback plays per miss, and 10th in putback points per 100 plays, according to Clean the Glass. And this means two things. That despite being relatively average with regards to our offensive rebounding as a team, we eat off of Mitchell Robinson's work. And given that we rank last in the league in scoring at 103.4 points a game, we need every second chance point, even with the talented but albeit older Derrick Rose performing via the second unit. Again, for a team that just doesn't score a lot, having those second chance opportunities is paramount to us scraping away these wins with our defense. And so Mitchell Robinson's absence is definitely going to be felt, especially against teams that have good defensive rebounders. Now, obviously, on defense, Mitchell Robinson still had a ways to go. He still gets bullied by some of the more physical centers and forwards in the league, i.e. the Sabonises, the Andre Drummonds, the Jokic's. And so we've seen him struggle with his fundamentals, his inability sometimes to stop jumping for the fake, also his propensity at times to foul ball handlers that switch onto him, and him being sloppy with his hands and his footwork. And unfortunately, it actually seems as if the team is doing better defensively on the surface when he's off the court versus when he's on, as teams have averaged an offensive rating of 109.3 versus 107.8 when he's off the court. He has shown some slight and nuanced improvements to his defense that shows up in some stats and context that probably wouldn't be as apparent to the naked eye. Now, even though his blocks are down, his defensive field goal to opponent's field goal differential is still negative at 2.7% differential, which is a good thing, as his opponent's field goal percentage at 46.1% is lower than that player's field goal percentage versus everyone else's at 48.8%. And Mitch actually has a sterling defensive field goal percentage versus field goal differential against three-pointers, as the defensive field goal percentage for three-pointers is at 25%, while his opponent's field goal percentage versus everyone else is at 36.9%. And yes, we get on Mitchell Robinson because many times there's a reset fast enough on the guy rolling out, the so-called roll man when he pops out in the pick and roll set. But a lot of that can be explained by Tom Thibodeau's defense and Elfrid Payton, or many times whoever the other defensive teammate that's in that set helping with Mitchell Robinson. The ice pick and roll defense, Mitchell Robinson many times is tasked with holding down the fort until the defender, the teammate helping out, Elfrid Payton many times in the rotation, Mitchell Robinson has to wait for Elfrid Payton to get around that pick and recover onto his man, and then Mitchell Robinson can go back to his man. Now, you've seen sometimes we've done a lot more switching, and the team has made a more concerted effort to basically just switch out and get onto the open man. But in the past, many times Mitchell Robinson had to hold down the fort, and Elfrid Payton did a poor job of getting around, so he'd have to wait an extra second or so. And if you have a guy who can shoot out from the outside, we saw in the OKC game with Al Horford, you see in the Pacers game, and you see in the Denver Nuggets game, you know, if you have a combination where you have the guy on the outside who can hit the shot after the pick, you're doomed. So Mitchell Robinson, many times he gets the flag, but a lot of times he's on Elfrid Payton. Now, with regards to field goals kind of close to the basket, 6 and 10 feet away from it, they have gone down compared to last year, but that field goal differential is still negative, which is a positive for Mitchell Robinson. And his blocks have gone down from 2 blocks a game last year to 1.5 this year. Although his fouls have gone down as well from 3.2 to 2.9, while his minutes have jumped to 23.1 to 28.8 this season. So it seems as if Tom Thibodeau is teaching Mitchell Robinson to play the long game in regards to his defense, while hoping him to improve his fundamentals. So again, the upside is still there, and he has made some improvements that may not be as apparent to the naked eye. And Ner'Zwell has filled in admirably, as evidenced by his defensive field goal differential and his impact on an opponent's offensive rating when he's on and off the court. But as we've seen him time and time get burned on the pick and roll, pick and pop, backdoor passes, bad recoveries, Ner'Zwell is definitely not the so-called long-term answer for Mitchell Robinson. And Taj Gibson, as well as Ner'Zwell Wells, are older players, so they're not going to be able to give you as many minutes as a younger Mitchell Robinson can. Now, although we are the number 1 team in regards to perimeter defense, three-point shooting, there have been many games, especially against teams that can shoot the three effectively, where we've been burned on the pick and pop, pick and roll, dribble drive, kick out to guys on the perimeter. We've still let up a lot of open shots, even though I think these past few games we've looked a little bit better, but against the Rockets and Wizards, so again, the Knicks just defensively without a guy like Mitchell Robinson to help out, given that defense is our forte, and we're the worst scoring team in the league. Any loss right now on the defensive end can be a huge blow to us. I mean, will the Knicks have to basically sell out on the paint defense, perimeter defense? You've seen it like against the Chicago Bulls game. You know, when we did sell out on perimeter defense, we got burned on backdoors and guys just basically driving right through the top of the defense. And so it's definitely going to be a conundrum going forward. But the Knicks will have to find a way as a team to be more aggressive on the boards. And essentially, whether it be switching, getting around picks, better communication, it's going to be tough. And people talk about replacements. Obviously, the name out there is Mo Bamba. A guy's kind of fallen out of favor with the Orlando Magic. People said Hassan Whiteside, behavioral issues. People talked about signing Tyson Chandler as a buy to come through and just give him some steady minutes at that 5 position, defend, rebound, do all the dirty work. So we'll see. But definitely a name to look out for could be Mo Bamba. The guy still definitely has some potential, some talent. I believe he shot like 30% from 3, but again, that's better than Mitch Robinson. But for some reason, it's just not working out with the Orlando Magic. He's not really blossomed, especially for a team with so many centers. You would think that he would be on that right path. You know, obviously Jonathan Isaacs, Vucevic, but on the same plane, it might be that they don't want to take the time to develop a player like that. So, hey, I don't know, Tom Thibodeau and Leon Rose want to throw a second, and Kevin Knox, who's also, according to some reports online, is on the so-called trading block. Kevin Knox in a second for Mo Bamba. Get outside of the 5 position, maybe somebody could space out the floor, defend, run the floor. Not the worst of situations, but we'll see. But guys, let me know what you think. How much this injury to Mitchell Robinson will impact the Knicks. Will we go out and get a so-called player off the scrap heap? I don't want to say like that, but the free agency line. Will we make a trade? Leave your comments down in the comment section of this video. Hit the likes on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. This is Legion of Knicks. Peace, salute, and God bless. We out.